Hi guys, welcome back to Chess the Matthew. So on this video, we will tackle about the opening, so-called Clemens opening, which start with the move h3. So I am working on this opening to have some uplifting ideas from this move h3 because most of the facts that I've been searching on the internet, this h3 move have so many negative comments, criticized, and even the player who plays this h3 was bullied. So on this video, I will try to have some good ideas or to give some lessons why h3 has its own advantage in the future. So let's say, for example, let's go to in the another opening before first we go to h3. So the most theoretical move which is tested by time is the move e4, and sometimes your opponent plays e5, knight f3, knight c6, and go to the opening of the so-called Roy Lopez, and after a6 attacking the bishop, capturing the knight, doubling the pawns, and castle. So as we shall see on this position, we have no h3 move. So after bishop g4, and then here we go now the h3 move. So on move 6, we have h3 move. So what is the difference of moving it on the first move with the move h3? So let's just see first the idea why this h3 move is so critical on this position, because of delaying it to move not in just first move but in the sixth move. So after h3, h5, here go now the ideas of black sacrificing the bishop and going into the h-file mate. For example, after takes, she takes here, and for example after this knight retreat here, then the queen go to this h-file and mate the king. For example, just for the record, after capture attacking the knight, so we will retreat and attack the knight again. So let's say for example after this random move, then we have the idea of h-file mate. So going back, so the bishop seems so untouchable, so we just play d3. After queen f6, here comes now the exchange, and still going to the idea of the h-file mate on these squares h2 and h1. So for example after bishop g5 countering, but after queen g6 intending to these squares and have a battery on this h-file, and here, and for example after knight takes e5, queen h7, then no hopes left to the white side, because after let's say rook move, then here comes now the checkmate on the h-file. So here we go now into the idea of the move h3, which is placed at the sixth move, which is now not good on this position because it allows h5. So why we just play first h3, and for example after e5 block, then here comes now our e4, and after knight c6, bishop b5, a6, and after bishop takes c6, d takes c6. So these square are now protected by our h3 pawn, and it stops bishop g4, which shall see in the latter moves where it pins our knight, and also somehow some h-file attacks, and later on h-file mate. So why h3 has so many negative comments on the internet? So let's have first practical games with the move first h3. So a4. So we reach now the Sicilian opening. So d5. So we can now c3 first. So there is no d4 and castle. So after castle, knight. Okay, castle. And then what's next? We will attack. He will attack my pawn on e4. Will play d3 or queen a2. I think queen a2 first. And after queen a2, okay, we'll finish our development. Bishop e3. So this is one of the advantage of h3. The knight on f6 cannot distract now our bishop on a3. So it's good that our h3 move has a purpose on this position. So after bishop a3, I think he will attack my bishop on the other wings side, on the queen side. So my opponent is still thinking. Okay, as expected, retreat, and as expected, retreat again. Think c2. So we'll now finish our development. So I think I will attack on the queen side if I am allowed. Rook e1 first and then queen f1 to defend our queen side. I mean king side. There's a nice trick here. After knight h5, I can capture his e5 pawn and then discovered attack. Okay, let's defend our king side on h3. So start now attack on the other side, the queen side, distracting the position. So f5. So I think I can capture the f5 first. Okay, let's, and then f5. So bishop takes f5. Bishop takes s5. Rook takes. Queen takes. Knight takes d4. Bishop takes c2. d5. Where the goes knight. Knight e8. And then capture the bishop on 7. I think so. That's a good idea. So let's take first knight and then capture the rook. So the queen leaves the protection to the a7, and after we attack the knight on c6 and capture. There's knight a5. Oh no. Down. Okay, then we will stop the discovery check first. Stop first the discovery check. f3, and then we have time advantage, but I don't think so if I can win on this position. So queen d2. So attack the queen first and give some knight post on e4. I think that e4, and then attacking the bishop. So with the go his bishop to the a7, I will control the d file. I think queen d2. Queen d2. And then what's next? Oh no, my rook has no squares to go. I think I will play knight f2. Capture, h5, retreat. Oh no, my time. Oh no, my time. Retreat. Attack. I think control. Oops, defend. Oops. Oh, it's a fork. Again. Again fork chick. Yes. What a lucky game. What a lucky game. So check and then exchange our queens. Okay. Then exchange. Advance our king. Exchange some pawns. Okay, thank you. Okay. Again, thank you. Advance. Okay, advance. Another. Advance again. So, what to do? Capture. And then, we will promote our pawn to queen. And then, black resign. So, we win.